You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver. What the hell is that? Podcast.
Oh, it's Thirsty Thursday, and I'm drinking water because I'm thirsty. I lost my train of thought. It's the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. Let's go ahead and do podcast things. We're going to talk about wrestle things and wrestle stuff, things and stuff. I'm doing things, Lori, things and stuff. I know that's not the right line, but fuck you. I haven't watched The Walking Dead in a long time. Hi, I'm Ransom. I'm here with Tiger Bomb Tom. I'm here with Poot the Bard. I'm here with the Cruiserweight champion, Beef the Legend. And I'm in a really good mood, so let's not fucking try and ruin it, Pat, by just randomly showing up thinking you're hot shit, when really all you are is cold diarrhea. So stay the fuck out of our Discord. Let the professionals-ish, not at all, but let those of us who do the show. And come the end of the quarter, we can have a nice little send-off for you into the sunset, never to return as our Foserweight champion. Foserweight champ? Is that? No! Like faux, like fake.
I know.
F-A-U-X, like Fox, Tom.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm combining that with shoe. Like so.
Foserweight champion.
Foser shoe.
Listen, we can all agree.
Call him a Poserweight champion.
Oh, I like Poserweight champion.
Okay, but look, we can all agree Pat's the worst, and we win.
You know what?
In your face.
You know what he's the best at?
No.
Sucking dick.
He's the best transitional champion ever.
Oh.
Rude. Oh, welcome to Junior Mahallville, Pat.
Population, you fucker.
Do, cause you suck so bad.
It's clear that my intro has devolved. No thanks once again to fucking Pat.
Suck it, Pat. We hate you so bad.
That's
keep sending us those questions, you stupid gonad.
Yeah.
Please keep listening, our loyal viewer.
Listen to Beef. We hate you so much, Pat, but please, please keep listening and please keep sending us stupid chance questions. But we hate you, Pat, but please don't leave us. This is the definition of an abusive relationship. I hate you. Don't leave me.
It is. If you were someone you know, no.
Stay away from us, but still give me questions. All right, look.
We hate you, but love me.
We have a new belt. Big gold. Big faux gold. No, not the World Heavyweight Championship. The big gold WWE Championship.
Big stupid.
Wow. Okay, well, that was debuted on Tuesday nights, Friday night Fight Fest, Taboo Tuesday.
Well, Saturday.
And Jimmy and Jey Uso. Let's talk about the belt first, and then let's talk about the Bloodline. And I'll tell you this: for as much as people are hating on the Bloodline, we still talk about it every week. So something's happening.
So I don't know. I mean,
don't you dare change the subject.
I'm not.
All right. It sounded like one of those things where it sounded like don't act like you've never done that before. Every try to introduce something, it's either Tom or Beef. Poot's innocent in all this because he doesn't usually know.
I'm just gonna shut up and play Paper Mario. Fuck this.
He doesn't. Oh, get your undies out of your asshole. He doesn't. Poot doesn't derail.
Poot!
Like when I Poot.
The only time that I derail. The only time that I derail.
Cereal, or he's at the beer and bathroom store for 20 minutes.
The only time that I derail. Shut the fuck up. All right. And, I don't want to talk about anyone eating on the podcast, Captain.
Well, Captain Crunch-a-Lot over there.
It's true. It's true. I'm not sure. Snacker.
Yeah.
I get low blood sugar. You leave me alone. I'm diabetic.
I got love behind
How long is that time? You cannot play on your shit.
No,
loud noises.
No.
You cannot play the Wilford Brimley card, Beef.
Shut up. I did it to myself. I derailed my own self, thinking about how Tom and Beef derail me all the time. Through the two of you, Poot, you're a good boy. You're my emotional support, Poot. Let's get back to the belt. How do you feel about the new belt?
I personally, I like it. I think it looks cool. It's just different enough, but it's still familiar. Like I try and think about this stuff in the broad strokes of like the casual fan. If you go too hard of a change, like if you take, like for example, what happened with the Intercontinental belt, it was the classic belt with the white strap, and then they went wacky change. The one that like, I think it was Nakamura held for the first time, the current one, right? Yeah. Which grew on you, because I love the Legacy Intercontinental belt, man. I love it. I just think it looks great. It's timeless.
I agree.
It's enjoyable. But the new belt, whenever I saw it, I was like, why the fuck are we doing this? And then after about 2 months, I was like, all right, you know what? I can get on board with this. And now it's just the Intercontinental belt. This belt, but wait. My point was, and it's not going to be very long. My point here is,
that's what she said.
I think it is enough of a change for people like us to bring it up on the podcast and have it be an actual talking point. I think it's a good enough change that it's something that catches the eye and catches the attention. It also now, with the way that things are going with the Bloodline, or the way things have gone with the Bloodline, it kind of goes, this is Roman's belt again. It's one belt. It's one thing. It's new, but it's still familiar. So it's comfortable enough that people aren't going to get like, whiplash from an immediate title change. And it also, in my opinion, because it retains the look of the way the belt's been for the past many years, it also makes the World Heavyweight belt look even more striking. So I think it's a really healthy balance. And also, it has that negative look to it, which I really like. I like it when it's like you're used to seeing something and then it just like gets a negative flip, from the color palette. I like it. I think it's good. Is it the most creative thing they could have done? Absolutely not. No. Could they have done something like bring back Winged Eagle, or the one that was the original Undisputed belt that like Brock Lesnar ran around with? Yeah, they could have
championship in the business.
I stand by the statement Winged Eagle is the best one. But like that's personal opinion. But like this current one, I think it is enough of a change that it's interesting and good, but it's familiar enough that people aren't going to lose their fucking shit over it, or for the people who really aren't heavy fans, they're going to be able to look and go, oh yeah, that's a WWE championship. That's my take on it.
So first of all, to answer Ransom's question, I think it's a copious eyesore. I don't think it looks good. I don't like the gold behind the black W. I think the black W looks dumb on the black strap. Maybe it's the black strap. I don't know. I've seen images with it like projected to be the women's title on the white strap, and it still looks like piss. I don't like it at all. Damn. All that being said, like I understand what you're saying, Poot, that you're trying to mollycoddle the marks, which is the next name of my next podcast, by the way, mollycoddling the marks, which I will be never doing. But like every 10 years, the belt basically gets a redesign. You went from the boxing championship to the Winged Eagle in the 80s, the Winged Eagle to Big Blue in the 90s, Big Blue to the Undisputed title in the early aughts, the Undisputed title to the Spinner in the teens, and then the Spinner to like the logo, the shield.
Yeah.
In like the late teens. So
like turns.
I feel like wrestling fans know that belts change, and that like if you do a full-on change, they're not going to be like, they took our gerbs. Like they're not going to be like, this is the worst. And especially with this belt, I feel like the Shield belt, and I call it that because it looks like a shield, not because the Shield held it, but they,
right.
Regardless, I feel like this belt's gotten a lot of hate. justifiably, because it's not
Really?
creative. Yeah, it's not creative. It's very bland looking. You know, I think that the neat thing about wrestling is that you can kind of fuse real life sports like MMA and boxing into a worked situation. And I think that that's what the belts were originally created, to kind of bring that kind of sense of like believability to it. Now you're just walking around with a logo on your waist. Like, all right, that's whatever. Like, I get it. I get it. Branding, sure. But again, like, this title's been around for long enough. I think it came around right about WrestleMania 28. So that would put this into its
thereabouts.
that would put this into its 12th year of existence. Moving on to, well, actually, I think this would be like, I think it came about in Royal Rumble after Dwayne won it.
Yep.
So like, it would be, I think, 12 this coming January. And regardless, it's been a cycle long enough. It's time to move on to a new belt, a new style of belt. And that's why I love the world title. And I had such high hopes for whatever they're calling this one, the Undisputed Universal title. And it's just it just missed the mark for me.
So the one thing that I'll agree with Beef on, it's not very inventive. I mean, because they basically just kind of did a palette, color palette swap on the existing belts and combined two belts into one belt. So it's not that creative, but I get what Poot's saying. Like, it's, I get what Poot's saying, that it's enough familiarity, but I don't feel like it's a big enough of a change. The good thing about it is that we don't have, Roman or whoever the next person is to hold that, walking around carrying two belts, because that just looks ridiculous. Like, I can't wait until they, either decide to fully split off the tag team titles or combine them into one, because walking around, having a tag team carrying around 4 goddamn belts it's just ridiculous. Sorry.
I have a thought on that after you're finished, Tom. But
I digress. Back to Roman's title. I get what Beef's saying. Like, I kind of wish they would have gone something a little bit different. The thing that I dislike the most about it, or the thing that I dislike most, is that this title in particular, if you think about it, is supposed to be your lineage title. This is the one that, if you take it back, goes back to when they combined the WWE Championship with the World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, so your WWE Championship, this is supposed to be your lineage title. This should have some sort of bearing of that. But we were told that all those little nuances and nods to the prestige and the history of the 50 years of WWE is there in the new World Heavyweight Championship, which just got created, because it's not a revival of the old World Heavyweight Championship. This is a brand new title, yet we're told that all these little nods and things to the past are there in this title, but when you think about it, they should be in the other one. I don't get it. That part doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's a fucking prop. It's a belt.
Triple H had to do a speech to prop up that title. Like, he couldn't just come out and go, "Hey everybody, here's the new World Heavyweight Championship. Thanks everybody, bye." Like, he had to give it. He had to speech it up, because it was a new belt, a new old belt that they're newly reintroducing. So, like, there had to be some sort of pomp and circumstance behind. This is just them getting rid of 2 belts and letting Roman carry around 1 belt. It's not like, yeah, he had 2 belts, but it was still the unified universal world heavy galactic title or whatever.
Right.
So that's probably why there wasn't any sort of pomp and circumstance around it, because it's essentially, we're not changing the belt. We're not combining 2 belts. The 2 belts were already combined. It's just, he was just carrying around 2 of them. This, he's just getting rid of 2 props instead for 1 prop. Now, I have a theory. I want to get this out while we're talking about this title, and then we can talk about the tag titles. Their beef. I don't want to lose this because I know I will because I'm stupid.
You're good.
I have a theory. I'm theorizing that Cody is still in the thought process, and I'm sure since he's still in the thought process, he's still probably in the ear of Triple H about, like, you know, my dad, Sussy Rhodes, bing bong bang. So I'm thinking that instead of introducing a brand new looking title now, they're getting rid of 2 belts so he can just carry around 1 belt, and then come WrestleMania of next year, because let's face it, it's going to be WrestleMania of next year. Right. When Cody wins, that's when they'll introduce a brand new redesign of the title. I'm thinking it'll probably be what I would assume, like if Cody does want like the Winged Eagle title brought back, it's not going to be the old school Winged Eagle title. It's going to be a newly designed Winged Eagle title, kind of like the World Heavyweight Championship. It's going to look similar, but it'll have that big dumb W in the fucking front of it. That's my assumption, which is why they didn't redesign it now. They just gave it a color palette swap, kind of like they did when Daniel Bryan won it and he had the wood belt. I don't know. Could be wrong. That's my theory. Beef tag titles.
Before you, no, I'm not gonna. I just want before you go into the tag titles, I just want to touch on this. I'm not
going to. This is kind of like all encompassing. But go on, Poot.
But my point with this is that it could have been worse. I was sitting here and going, how could this be worse? Because Beef is not sold on this, and you know Tom is blasé on it, and like a lot of people are not happy about it. However, think about this: it could have been worse. They could have taken both belts, cut them down the middle, and just slammed both of them together and gone, there we go. And I think that would have been dumber. You're sitting there and you're going, they would never have done that. And I want you to stop and think, wouldn't they have? Wouldn't they have? That seems like a very WWE thing to do.
I mean, are you saying that that's the only way that it could have gotten worse? Because I agree, and I think that kind of deflates your argument about it looking good.
No, I'm saying it could have been worse from your argument. I don't think my thing is that I don't hate the look of it. But again, that's just personal taste. I like gold over black. Like, I like I just think it's like, okay, it's familiar, but it's different. They didn't really get creative with it. They phoned it in. Okay. I don't hate it. I just don't understand the amount of the amount of vitriol for it.
I think if the W would have been white, I think it would have been I would have been better with it.
Or at least not segmented, like little jewels.
I don't mind that, but like the black against the gold against the black is so, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like or silver. So like what they did with big gold, where like the inlet in the middle is silver, chef's kiss. Love it. Like but being like a stark black against that gold is just it hurts my eyes. So and I wish I could take credit for this being kind of a beef theory.
It's eye-catching, though. Because it's uncomfortable, it's eye-catching.
It's gaudy. It's gaudy, which makes sense because it's the fucking gaudiest champion in the history of ever. Which, by the way, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced he holds it until WrestleMania next year. I'm thinking he might go beyond that because if he gets to September 2024, he eclipses Hogan reign. Which I'm sure they would love to have. So, all that being said, notwithstanding, one of my buddies at work brought this to my attention. I'm like, it's a good point. Like the belt situation, including the replacing of the WWE and the Universal title, are all mirroring the evaporation of the Bloodline. Think about it. 3 months ago, they had all the fucking belts, all the fucking belts of the world. Then the fucking Usos lose the tag titles at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Usos go away. then fucking all of a sudden Roman's not holding 2 belts, he's holding 1 belt. And yeah, like it's a new belt, and yeah, it's gold and everything, but like you go from holding 2 belts to holding 1 belt, and people are gonna be, well, what happened? Like, and yeah, you can explain, sure. Oh, they just unified them, but like it's showing the withering of the bloodline, the belts disappearing, like the actual physical manifestations of the titles disappearing is echoing what's actually happening in the bloodline. And I thought that was that was a really cool thought. I just, I hope that Ransom's right, and I think he might be. Whereas, it's not time for a full redesign because Roman just crested his 1000th day. Of course, now's the time to give him a big gaudy gold fucking title. It's like your fucking big fucking gaudy gold Rolex at the, at your retirement party. Like, hey, you're doing a great job, or hey, you've done a great job. Here's this big fucking hunk of gold. So I think that when whoever brings him down, I think we will get another title change.
I have a theory about that.
All right.
Belt redesign, rather.
So I'm really on the fence right now. I'm not sure if they're gonna try to have Roman take it all the way to beat Hogan's streak. However, if they do, I think there may be only one person who you could have beat Roman at that point, and you're gonna think I'm fucking insane for saying so.
Goldberg.
No, I'll never say that. No, Solo. It's got to be Solo Sikoa, man. He's just think, if you really, really think about it, like it would make sense for him to do it. He's just not there yet. We're not ready for it yet.
I too was a fan of a manga back in 2005.
They would have to do something with
I love Solo.
Would.
I think he was great. I think he was great in NXT, and then they brought him to the main roster, and they like made a fusion dance of Samoa Joe and Umanga, and like
Umanga.
Suddenly we get.
You never go full William Regal. Come on.
I did it. I went full.
Always go full William Regal.
He's the man.
Such a man.
Now we have this weird fusion of Samoa Joe and fucking Yamaga, and like it's weird, and I don't like it. I think he's better than this. Is what I'm getting at.
If the Solo Sikoa angle is going to happen, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying if it's going to happen, he has to, in however long it takes to work up to that, whether it's Mania or Hogan's record or whatever, from now until that happens, they have to build him up as something more than a guy who stands around and then thumbs somebody because Roman yells, "Solo!" Like, they're not doing much with him as far as like making him look like a main eventer. I think he can. I think he can very well look like a main eventer. Yeah. I think he can, I think he can reach that and get there. But they have to show it. Show your work. They can't just have him stand there, arms crossed, for the next, year and a half, and then suddenly go, blah, hit Roman with the spike, and then take the belt. That would not make any sense. If over the course of time, he begins to emerge, kind of like Batista did in Evolution. They evolving to this main event player. If they do the same with Solo, I could see that happening. I could see him being the one that takes it off of. But I just have a sneaking suspicion that the bloodline crumbles fully before that can come to fruition. So, speaking of the bloodline crumbling, I've read a lot of different things and speculations on that, and I kind of want to get your guys' opinion, where if anyone is listening missed the events of Friday night, Jimmy and Jay came out after the belt was presented. Jimmy had the mic and, was kind of airing his grievances with Roman, trying to make amends. Solo sided with the Usos and walked over and stood with them. Roman seemed like he came around, gave Jimmy a hug, and then said, nope, not coming around. Solo blasted him with the thumb. A lot of people are speculating that, well, I don't know about a lot of people, but a lot of the articles that I've read are speculating that this isn't where the Usos turn on Roman. This is where Jay turns on Jimmy and remains with the bloodline. I have no idea what to think, so I don't really have an opinion on the matter. I'm just interested to see, where do you guys think this is going? Do you think this is going to be a full-blown Uso split? Do you think that Jay does wind up siding with Roman and betraying Jimmy? Of all the people that I figured going out on their own as a solo act, I didn't suspect Jimmy, but look at the cruiserweight standings. I clearly don't know what I'm talking about. What do you guys think? People that are doing better in the cruiserweight standings than I am.
I hate it. I hate it.
Okay.
Because how much longer are we gonna get this fucking burger on the go thing?
September of 2024 when he breaks Hogan's streak. That's how long.
No.
Burger on the go?
Yeah, come on, man. You're the guy that catches every one of my Office references. It's from Jim and Pam's wedding when Dwight's talking about the device that he puts on the horse that slowly chops it up into meat. Burger on the go.
Well,
Skyball is still considering it.
Yeah, I didn't know it was called Burger on the Go. I know what you're talking about.
Let's not beleaguer this into an Office.
Yeah.
My point here is that this horse is dead. This horse.
In your mind, it doesn't seem like it's dead in the WWE's mind.
Well, here's why, and I'm with you. I'm with that statement, Ransom. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's enough of a cup of tea that fucking business is still doing good. You can make the arguments of exactly when or because it was because of Sammy or anything like this and that, but and I'm sure you will. That's fine. But Bloodline merchandise and everything like that, I'm sure that if the business was not there, if Roman was not making them money, they would not be backing him. I'll tell you something though that I heard listening to another podcast that fucking it was I can't remember how many years ago. I think probably right around the time whenever they came back that little bit, and I think they helped put the Usos over whenever the Dudleys were back or whatever. Fucking Bully Ray said he's backstage talking to Vince at one point, and he said in regards to Roman, he said that's the guy that's going to be fucking putting food on our table for the next 10 years. So even back then, and granted, he had the Cena effect, and fucking they tried to push Roman down our throats, and everybody revolted. But look where we're at now. He's the one fucking putting money in their pockets. So obviously something's got to be working.
If I may, a merch report from May 19th, from May 13th to May 19th, 2023. Number 1, Bad Bunny. Number 2, LWO. Number 3, Rhea Ripley. Number 4, Seth freaking Rollins. Number 5, Cody Rhodes. Number 6, Matt Riddle. Number 7, The Usos. Number 8, Roman Reigns. Just narrowly beating out number 9, Braun Strowman.
Now, wait a minute. That was when?
May 13th to May 19th, 2023.
So that was how close to around the whole back?
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure that absolutely is part of it.
Yeah.
But again, this is a month ago.
Now, is that just for that time period, or is that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm talking overall, man. Come on, think about it.
Well, yeah, overall,
Well,
Roman's had a great reign,
Yeah.
except for the last fucking 2 years where he fucking only wrestles twice a fucking year and never defends his title.
We
I mean,
praise
I won't
MJF for that, but we condemn Roman for that?
Exactly.
You damn right, because MJF shows up on every fucking episode, and Roman Reigns has 6. Let me see it. I actually saw a fucking post about this. Roman Reigns has like maybe 10 fucking dates between now and SummerSlam. MJF is there fucking day and night.
Yeah,
He is
but
there.
Roman's
I don't
Roman's there
fucking
during
care
live
about.
events. Live events, he's there.
Oh,
Just saying.
man, I'm sure the whole fucking 300 people that fucking paid the gate to see them is just thrilled.
He's there though.
Okay, but he's not on
making the
fucking
money.
TV. But he's not on fucking TV.
Because he doesn't have to be, because he's got Heyman and he had the rest of the bloodline there. That's the thing. He's the central part of it, and his presence is
Stone
enough.
Cold didn't have to be on TV every
Okay.
week either. But you know what? He fucking was. Whether or not he was defending the title or not, he was on TV fucking making awesome things happen. You know, Shawn Michaels didn't have to be on TV every week, but he was. Fucking Goldberg didn't have to be on TV every week, but he was. This fucking part-time champ shit only works if you are a good and believable part-timer. Brock Lesnar is a good and believable part-timer because he can show up, arrive, raise hell, and leave. And it's going to be whoever snatches that title from Brock's waist. Roman Reigns is not. Roman Reigns is fucking Hogan in the 80s, is fucking Cena in the 2000s. He is the guy that they have been working and fucking getting in between our rib cage to fucking be like, huh? Roman, huh? You like him? You like him now? You know what I read?
Jesus fucking
They want him-
Christ. Dial it back.
They want him to be a fucking superhero babyface at the end of this. That's what I read is the plan currently. That he is going to be the babyface. This whole I don't care, neither do I, but here we are. That's what they said that they want. Because they want him to be the face of the company. They turned him heel because they needed him to have more heat as a face. I'm just saying. Yes, you are absolutely correct. This is
Never go full Jim Cornette, by the way. Just reminding you.
That's bullshit. Jim Cornette.
No. With your tone and how
fair.
loud you went. Just never go full Jim Cornette. Think of your heart blood.
I'm just saying. I feel like yes, absolutely. This is a snapshot. 1 month after a pay-per-view that just took place in Puerto Rico. Yes, I get it. I get it. And yes, average-wise, probably over the last course of 3 years, the Bloodline's probably the biggest merch seller. But that also contained a year where Sami Zayn was the hottest fucking act in the world. So I don't want to hear this shit about Roman Reigns moving shit. Roman Reigns is not a needle mover. Yes, he's had a decent title reign. But at the end of the day, and I've said it before, and I will continue to fucking bark on it until we fucking move on from talking about Roman Reigns every fucking episode. That he had a good start, and in the last 2 years has fallen off of it.
So
he has not had a clean victory. I don't remember.
Because he's a heel. He's a heel, beef.
Okay, he has not had an interference-free victory.
I'm pretty sure he's had it at least one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He passed out Rollins. He
didn't have one, did he? Oh, he didn't have a clean victory, did he? Okay.
All right, I didn't know that we were the Pittsburgh Literal Podcast. My bad. Next time I will make sure that my fucking vernacular matches exactly what I mean.
Well, show your work. You want to be that fucking critical.
My fucking
show
point
your fucking
here.
Work.
Okay, fine. Out of the last 36 months, he has had about 3 interference-free victories.
He's a heel, beef.
Yeah, that's fine. You know how many MJF has won due to interference? Guess.
No, and I'm not concerned.
0.
You know why?
No, everybody wants to compare him. You fucking heard the bar.
You're the one that started.
No, the bar put it out there, and everyone's like, "Yeah, man, MJF never wrestled, and he's a champion." You know why? Because MJF's better than Roman, and we all know it. Roman Reigns is.
It's not an argument. It's not an argument who's better or not. It's an argument of
Roman Reigns.
Is Roman doing business for the WWE? And obviously he is.
Roman Reigns will always be The Rock's cousin Joe. I don't care what gimmick you want to give him. I don't care how important you want to make him feel. The only reason that Roman Reigns was given his position is because of his relationship to The Rock. And their hopes that maybe, just maybe, they could bring back an honest-to-God megastar out of the fucking woodwork. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if it was going to happen, it was going to be this past year. I think they're still holding out hope for next WrestleMania. I don't think... And again, I'm not going to begrudge Roman and say that the entire reign has been shit. It was a good reign. Most of his Universal title was fine. I just think that everything should have wrapped up sometime between January and May of this year. Take your pick. I don't care if fucking KO beats him at Royal Rumble. I don't care if Sami Zayn beats him at Elimination Chamber. I don't care if Cody Rhodes beats him at Mania. Any of the three of them could have wrapped up that story, and I would have been like, that was a good little story. But now looking at another 8 months, 12 months of Roman Reigns, potentially 14, 16 months of Roman Reigns as the champion, holding that big gaudy piece of work around his waist, forget about it.
I'm so happy.
I'm not saying I want to see Roman try to beat. I'm not saying I want to see them have Roman beat Hogan's streak by any means. I'm not saying that. I don't think it should go on that long. I don't think it should go until... I don't think it necessarily has to go until WrestleMania. I think if they have it go to this next WrestleMania, that's really, really pushing it. I'm with you on the fact that it is reaching the... I'll concede to say that it is reaching the end of its life cycle. I know you're going to already bitch and moan and complain that it's already past that point. However, what is one thing that we complained about for the longest time was long-term storytelling and long-term booking. And they are wrapping this around from the beginning with the Bloodline, the whole thing with Jimmy and Jay and Roman there. That whole controversy. Fucking Motor City Machine Guns, get out of our podcast.
What the fuck?
It's a motorcycle. Everybody calm down. Don't act like you've never heard it before.
I've heard it before, just not on the fucking podcast.
How was that? Is that a two-wheeled car scooter? What's happening?
A two-wheeled car scooter? That's an affront to God.
So Tom,
hold on. Let me finish point. No. Let me finish my point before you fucking bluster and interrupt me there. My point was with the long-term storytelling before, I even said, I was like, the story is not about Sammy ending anything or whatever. If you really think about it, the story should come around full circle to about Jimmy or Jay. Not saying that one of them has to beat him or anything like that, but that's where the Bloodline would crumble, is between the three of them. And where are we at right now? We're right there. We're right there with them.
Isn't the point of wrestling to build new stars, though?
It is, and don't get me wrong.
Wouldn't you say that the Usos are one of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team of the last decade?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you say that Sammy or Kevin or even Cody would have taken that rub from Roman and done even more with it than the Usos would?
I'm not saying that Usos are going to be the... You're missing it. It's not about the title beef. It's about the Bloodline story itself. It's about Jimmy and Jay and Roman.
Right, but somebody's going to beat Roman, and somebody's going to get that big rub and that big title, whether it be Jimmy or Jay or Solo.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the argument.
I don't think it's going to be Jimmy or Jay. I think it's going to be Solo to be the one to beat Roman.
And I'm waiting for the argument where
those three.
where he deserves it over Cody, Sammy, or Kevin. That's where I think, and that's where I'm finding fault with all this, because Roman's rub at this point is bigger than Lesnar's rub after beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Wow.
I absolutely believe that.
No, you're not wrong.
Beef, you say shit in the heat of the moment. You better I know you're sure of yourself right now, but
Absolutely.
maybe check your role here.
No, I absolutely believe that is the fucking case.
Well,
so someone beating Roman is bigger than someone beating the Streak?
Than someone beating Brock, beating the Streak.
Oh, I can't understand. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about the transference of that, which was basically like guess who took that from Brock?
Wasn't it Seth?
It was Roman. Seth beat him for the. I think he did beat him for the Universal title. You're right about that. But Roman has beat him on bigger stages, I think, and Roman's made it look more believable.
Oh.
And Roman's always been the guy to take down Brock. Seth beat him, but I don't think he got that transference. I think that was moved to Roman, and then Roman himself beat the Undertaker. Ergo, getting this title victory over Roman Reigns means you're knocking out the longest reigning champion in the modern era.
Right.
Means that you're knocking out the guy who knocked out the guy who beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania. You're beating the guy. You're knocking out the guy who knocked out the guy at the Undertaker at WrestleMania. You're getting all of this, and you're gonna give it to fucking Jey Uso just because of a story.
I'm not gonna say
I'm not fucking Jimmy Uso because of a fucking story. You're gonna give it to fucking Solo. I understand what your point. Yes, absolutely. Long-term booking is important.
It's not going to be Jimmy or Jay. I'm not saying that they're going to win the title. Not Jimmy or Jay. I think
he's arguing that you're going to get a clean victory over Roman.
Right.
Like Roman hasn't lost.
And
he's
when
lost
that
as part
happens,
of a team, but he's not lost.
And when that happens, ergo, you've slain that dragon. Ergo,
so it's not about losing the title. It's just about losing.
You get that mantle.
That's fine.
And more importantly, getting back to where this all where the digression started. Ransom asked about it, mentioned about it being Jay turning on Jimmy, and that makes me so upset because I think we all could agree if it's not dead, that horse is coughing with the whooping cough. It's the blue man's coming. All right, so Jay turning on Jimmy to support Roman gives that fucking horse a fucking steel leg.
Yeah.
That they're gonna be like, nope, the horse is perfectly fine. Watch it keep trotting.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
Agreed.
I personally would like to see them wrap it up between Roman and Jimmy and Jay. It's not saying that that Jay has to get the win over that. Maybe Roman, just beats the ever living piss out of him and says, that's it, you're done, you're out of the family, whatever. However that clear separation, because obviously one of the Usos has had enough, the other one is still feeling conflicted. Okay, they just need to bring that confliction to an end. However they decide to do that, maybe that's I don't know. That's why I said that if there's somebody, I wasn't saying that it was going to be Jimmy or Jay to beat Roman, but if there was somebody amongst it within that whole bloodline torn faction right now that was going to do it, and they were going to try to take this story out longer, then it's more than likely going to be Solo, because they're going to keep slowly building him. I agree. They need to do more. And like Ransom was saying, a la a Batista build, that's probably the way that they would do it. So I could see that being a possibility. I'm not saying I want it. I'm not saying I love it or hate it. I'm saying it's a possibility. That's I'm just putting that out there into the ether. So don't be surprised if it happens. But as it stands right now, gun to your head off the top of the roster, besides Cody, who else is believable to beat Roman?
Believable or should?
Believable.
Bobby Lashley,
Gunther.
Finn Balor, AJ
Seth
Styles,
Rollins.
Seth Rollins.
Well, Seth Rollins has got his championship. They're not going to do that, so.
I don't.
Maybe.
Well, no. Well, maybe, but like also,
Drew
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre is
Sheamus.
absolutely believable. Shane McMahon.
No. No. Poot. No.
Well, if you're throwing Shane McMahon out there, you have to throw Kevin
let
Nash
me
out
fix
there, too,
this.
'cause they're quad
Braun
brothers.
Breaker. Give him a little more time, Braun Breaker.
No, God, no. Fuck Braun Breaker.
Give him more time. Give him more time. Give him more
Grayson
time.
Waller. Grayson Waller.
Waller.
I'll one up you. You give Grayson Waller more
That-
time. He's got the size, the speed, and the charisma. He
I
absolutely
bend
could be
to
the guy
that
to beat Roman.
100%.
now all those-
100%.
LA Knight.
All those names that
L.A.
you-
Knight.
believable.
Yeah.
Not who
Yeah.
we want. Believable as it stands.
LA Knight's believable.
I agree.
I think LA Knight's believable.
I agree with Tom. From a believability aspect, that would be akin to Ray beating the Big Show, or Ray beating.
Wow.
No.
LA Knight, no, not
there's
LA.
a difference.
What?
There's a difference. You're letting your fandom of LA Knight cloud your judgment.
I agree.
Thank
I
you.
love him, and I would
love him
love to
too.
see him.
But they
And
have
he's got-
not. They have not done enough with him yet,
Nope.
and they're not showing signs that they are intending to do anything more with him yet to make him believable into being somebody that could beat Roman. But
Nor is he a big imposing figure. That's the other part of it.
But of all those people that you mentioned, I could poke holes in a couple of those theories. Sheamus, they're not going to do it. Guarantee you.
Oh, absolutely not.
Gunther,
You didn't say who would they do.
No, I know.
Believable.
I know, but I'm gonna who was believable, but I'll poke holes in that. Sheamus, believable, yeah, but more so, but kind of on that teetering edge of like, I think that's past it's past his time sort of thing. Bobby Lashley, believable, but they took how long to make him WWE champion before? And after he lost that, and then after he got his ass whooped by, after he had his whatever with Brock, they're not really doing much with him there. So I don't know. I don't look at him as believable as you might think. AJ, possibly, but again, he's kind of with Sheamus on that. He's kind of on the tail end of things. I don't know. I mean, I feel he personally has enough tread on the tires to do it, but is he going to be around for long enough to do that sort of thing? It's hard. There's really not a whole lot of people on the roster that, if gun to your head, if they were like, hey, we need somebody to fucking replace Roman because X, Y, or Z, doesn't matter, whatever. Like, gun to your head, we got to pull the trigger next month. Besides Cody, there's not really anybody on the roster that they could make it seem credible and really actually mean something.
I'll tell you what,
100%.
Gunther could do it. Absolutely.
Gunther is the one I will give.
McIntyre.
Hold on.
I think the heel McIntyre, which would be weird, heel versus heel, but
McIntyre, is McIntyre a heel now?
That's what's being reported, that he's going to come back as a heel.
Oh, okay.
If he comes back.
Okay, well that's okay. Well, so he's not even there right now.
Right.
Okay, so let's. Okay, Gunther. The only problem that I would see with that is that you have to give him enough time to drop that IC title belt and get a build going to to a program with Roman, or you have to do a whole. He wins the main title and relinquishes the IC title. I don't know.
The burn off between John Cena losing the United States title and winning the WWE title was a cup of coffee.
Yep.
Was it? I
Absolutely.
and I only asked because that was around the time where I was not able to watch, so I was not aware.
Absolutely.
I was not aware of
Basically,
the timeline.
He lost the U.S. title to Orlando Jordan,
Okay.
and then one
in
or
like
two
December or
pay-per-views later.
January. Yeah.
Yeah. One or two pay-per-views later, he was beating JBL for the WWE Championship. Gunther could
I'll give you that.
absolutely, if necessity or whatnot, take the reasoning out of it. Gunther could lose the Intercontinental Championship at the next pay-per-view. The pay-per-view after that, he could have a match with Roman Reigns, make it absolutely believable, and win that title, and no one would go, boy, that was weird.
You know what the difference? You know what propelled Cena was being the next to last man in the Royal Rumble. And where did Gunther lie this year?
Next to the last man of the Royal Rumble. I'll give you that. Okay. I was not aware. I was not personally aware of that quick burn off turnaround. So I'll absolutely give you that. That's fine.
I'll tell you what. And we live in the era of Money in the Bank where anything is possible. And yeah, like if you want to have Roman's, million-day reign end via Money in the Bank, okay, that's a little bit of a cheese out. But like,
agreed.
Think about what a guy like LA Knight could do with that, or God help me, think about what a guy like Dominic Mysterio could
Thank
do
you.
with that.
You read my mind. Oh my God, Beef, you read my mind.
Think about
I think
your shit. People like
Rhea Ripley coming out and just fucking pie facing Roman or some shit happens. Dom comes in and schmoozes the cover. Everybody's just fucking losing their mind about how fucking pissed off they are. That Roman Reigns' fake million-day reign was ruined by fucking this bullshit and this stupid slimy little heel.
I don't think it'll go that way. I don't think it'll go that way. If Dom wins Money in the Bank, which I think is actually a very strong possibility.
He's one of two guys I've heard.
Here's my thing is I think they'll keep him. They'll keep him after going after the World Heavyweight Championship with Rollins. But I since we're mentioning Money in the Bank, I'm going to tell you right now. I think Brock's going to cost Cody Money in the Bank, and that's gonna set up that rubber match between the two of them. You watch.
And I'm fine with that because Cody doesn't need Money in the Bank.
Now listen, let me talk to you. All right.
Yeah.
Stealing that gimmick, Peru.
Indubitably.
Yippee.
Peru.
No,
my point with this is, I'm digressing. Yes. Oh, is that the Sean Connery version? Yes.
No, that's the Michael Scott version.
Okay. Yes. All right. The thing with Dominic Mysterio, can we agree? I'm taking a little bit of a sidebar just to kind of cool things down a little bit, maybe. Is that there's a lot of people that kind of have to eat some crow with Dominic Mysterio. Am I wrong?
Absolutely.
You are not wrong, sir.
Dude, I'm telling you.
They have done fantastically.
Just fucking use my name next time, Poot.
No, I'll be the first one to admit I didn't get it at first, but as I as it went along, sorry, I had a fucking beef stroke there. As it was going along though,
copyright.
He's getting so much heat. And I don't want to hear people say like, "Oh, there's go away heat" or this or that. No. Heat is heat. Like, he's a heel. You pay or you tune in or whatever, however you consume the content, whether it's a ticket, whether it's on your TV, however, you are paying attention to the product to watch somebody be able to go up and just fucking pop them right in the face. That's what you want to see. That's what he's doing as a heel. He is garnering that heat. He's making you hate him. He is doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and I love seeing him develop because I really think, especially not only the lineage of his family. His father's obviously been key with his not only his in-ring training, but surely his mental work, in the ring, the character work and stuff like that. But being surrounded by
Don't
the
worry,
talent that
of
being surrounded by the talent that he's surrounded by right now, like who are arguably his peers at this point. My God, that kid, the sky's the limit for that kid. He's doing great work right now. Give him time. Give him time. Like it's just gonna be better and better and better every single year. I really believe that. Unless he self-destructs. Which, you know, that's not a joke. That's not like a joke thing. Like we've seen that happen. Like,
no, we're not talking about yet. You spent the last 2 minutes dropping out, Poot. Sorry.
Not on the recording. I didn't. Hey.
that's the next Pittsburgh Pile Driver podcast T-shirt.
So there you go.
On the recording.
Don't worry, it's on the recording. It's fine. You guys go ahead and talk.
Okay.
Here's my only, I guess, fear with Dominic Mysterio. I see him being used as this comedic heel, and you could probably argue with me, and I'm sure you'd come up with a poignant argument because, once again, I'm a dummy. But I see Dominic Mysterio as that comedic. Not an MJF heel. He's not a Roman heel. You know, hell, he's not a Hart Foundation Bret Hart heel. He's more of that comedic style heel where he's always screaming for mommy. So my fear with Dominic is when this whole Judgment Day thing burns out, he's gonna burn out too. Like once Rhea Ripley is gone from him, he's going to get the Santino Marella treatment.
That's a genuine fear. That's a genuine fear.
Yeah, like I don't see him developing past this stable and this thing that he has, this program he has going on with Rhea Ripley. Like I think once she moves on to something else, I feel like Dominic will get left behind. Because if you look, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe he'll get legs under him and he'll be able to, develop as a singles person. But like from his inception into WWE, he's been carried by somebody. And I get it. That's like a mentoring thing. That's a learning thing. He was with Ray at first. Now he's with Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley. So like, I kind of understand, like, all right, he's under the learning tree. He learned face work from Ray. He's learning heel work from Rhea. And yes, he does have a lot of heat. But I feel like once the Judgment Day is gone, once Rhea is gone, that heat will not continue to foster. Like I feel like it'll sizzle out real quick.
The reason.
And I don't think like if you turned him face, like that's not going to work. Like if you turn Ray, good Lord. If you turn Dominic face and just have him be like, yes, it's Dominic Mysterio, finally, Big Dom, like, ew. I don't think they're going to. So my fear with Dom is that he's got to have, unless I'm not seeing something that he's developing, like unless I can't see it, I feel like once this is done, like Dominic's time in the sun will be done as well. And I think it's a shame because of all the time and effort that's been put into him. And I think he is doing some of the best stuff right now with the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley. Like he gets a lot of heat, and I think he's getting a lot of eyes on the product, but I think that's because of the situation he's in. And I'm hesitant on where he goes from here.
No, that's fair.
That's a reasonable fear for sure. I could see that being a very realistic possibility, and I hope that's not the case. But
I think he'll be okay. Because I mean, he's getting the heat. People don't want to hate on Rhea.
Nope.
People don't want to hate on Finn. People don't want to hate on Damian. Dom's getting the heat. So like, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of an evolution, but look no farther than his father, who, took being a chicken shit heel into becoming, beating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at No Way Out. So,
Wait, when was? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, when was Ray ever a heel?
I get what you did there, Beef.
Eddie Guerrero, my man, Eddie Guerrero, Dom's
okay.
real father.
Okay,
I got it.
Gotcha.
I got
Sorry.
it. I was starting to be confused, and then it clicked.
It was.
Yeah.
The
It was
beating
a
Brock
very.
Lesnar. I was like, oh, now
It was a very thinly laced one for the marks. That one was for the marks. There is your Molly coddling the marks segment. Poot, take us home.
Molly coddle you to bed, you little marks. Bum ba da ba ba da bum.